What's up, guys? Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to another episode of AKP Sports Talk. That's Ari. I'm Korea. Look, I'd say I'm feeling myself right now. We're doing pretty good. We're having a good run here. Obviously, we're doing a quick recap of how we did yesterday. First, the Nationals money line. Wow, what a roller coaster of emotions that was. Obviously, they go up 3-0, and then the Little League Grand Slam that just unbelievable. That happened for the Tigers, obviously giving them a 4-3 lead. And that's come back later in the late innings, making it a 5-4 lead. No, 4-4 tie, excuse me, to force extra innings. They get one run in the top of the 10th, and then their bullpen does the rest of their job, not allowing a run in the bottom 10. So the Nats get the full game money line win. That was definitely a sweat. At first, they go up 3-0. I was, on the Nats plus 1.5, Nats money line in so many different ways. And that was nice to see. Obviously, both hit yesterday. So, that definitely was a little bit sweaty, but, at the same time, their bullpen, did their job in the wider end. Ari, I'll probably let you, explain a lot more in terms of, the more of the meat of in terms of middle part of the innings. But, that definitely was a sweat. A's money line. Oh, that was a tough loss. That was a tough loss. Obviously, they got out to a lead. It was not a big lead. It was 1-0, and then the Padres scored three to make it a 3-1 lead, and then Soderstrom hit a 2-run homer to center to tie the game up, and I'm just hoping, can you force extra innings, and Higashioka goes yard, and San Diego pulls out another win at home, against the A's. But obviously, I did give out the plus 1.5. So if you did tail the plus 1.5, obviously that was a great winner for you. But unfortunately, we did not get the money line. We were so close. But solo shot. I knew as soon as I saw it go yard, I was like, yeah, no, that was done. That was done. So that was an unfortunate loss there. But a legacy win in the Rockies and Twins over 8. It was 5-2 in the bottom of the ninth. I thought that over was dead, and then Carlos Santana, former Mariner, said, "Nah, Korea Pounds, I got you." He hit a 2-run homer to obviously have the 9 runs. So I also gave out the over 8.5. So that also was a winner. That was nice to see, not have that push potential. Obviously, a clear winner. Even though the Rockies and Twins, finished at 9. That definitely was the biggest sweat. I definitely thought it was dead. With this game, the way this game was going early on, it was a very low scoring game. And then, like I said, I was just waiting for the bullpens to come in. And, as soon as the bullpens came in, that was when we were hoping, for the best. And, with the Rockies and Twins, thank God the overhit. That was a legacy win for me. Ari, how'd you do yesterday?
Yeah, 1-1 day for me. We got the Nationals win, as you said, take it early, 1-0 lead on the base of the walk in the third inning, 3-0 in the fifth. And then in the bottom of the fifth, after Mitchell Parker was dealing through the first 4, he runs into some trouble in the fifth. He got 2 fairly quick outs with the walk in between. And then he commits an error, another walk, and that loads the bases. That leads to Raleigh Green's triple that turns into a little league home run that gets him the 4-3 lead. I think it was the 8th is when the Nationals tied at 4-4. And then the 10th, they got a little lucky with CJ Abrams striking out but reaching first on a wild pitch. So that made it first and turn over the out. And then the sac fly by Lane Thomas, and then Kyle Finnegan closed it out. I think he got the last out in the 9th, I believe, and then the 3 outs in the 10th. He's actually been one of the more surprising closers in the MLB this season. I think he's at like 20 saves or at that or close to it. So we'll see if he could be a trade candidate at the deadline, depending on where the Nationals feel that they're at if they sell. And then 1-1 loss was the Reds. They got it to McKenzie first in the first inning with the RBI double, and then back to back. I think it was Steer and Fraley back to back times. They got robbed of home runs by Tyler Freeman in center field. So when that happens, it's tough, obviously. But even then, they didn't. I still thought that they would get more to McKenzie, which he pitched pretty well. And then, once you're losing late to Cleveland against the back end of their bullpen, obviously it's tough. So, like kind of in hindsight, since I was more so fitting McKenzie, it wouldn't have won anyways. I probably should have gone first five. So I was just fitting McKenzie and not the Guardians bullpen. But like I said, it would have lost anyways. But that's kind of that was more of my angle. But either way, tough one there. But 1-1, which we'll take more than 0-2, obviously.
Yeah, obviously we'll take a 1-1 day from you. Obviously, we already talked about the Nationals money line, and then tough day for the Reds. Obviously, when two web gems in center field, it's kind of how it goes sometimes. Sometimes those balls go over the fence. Pause. Sometimes they don't, and that's just how the big game of baseball goes. But 2-1 day for me, 1-1 day for you. Obviously combined with the Nationals money line, that was our big winner yesterday. That's nice to see cash for both of us. But now, obviously, getting into today, Wednesday, we got a big slate, obviously, with some basketball, obviously, as well, with the Game 3 of the NBA Finals tonight. But I'm gonna stick to baseball here. What I do best, and we're gonna go first to the Bay Area, taking the Giants on the first 5 money line here, -130. Look, I said this, I think, last time when we were fading Logan Webb about how dominant he is at home, but not good on the road. Well, Logan Webb's pitching today, and he's at home. Shall I say more? 1.71 ERA at home, one of the most dominant pitchers. I don't know what it is with Oracle Park and Logan Webb. He's I guess his pitches just move different, I guess, but the way he pitches is just different at home. He is one of the better pitchers at Oracle Park at home. And the Astros right now not really hitting the best against right-handed pitchers, especially without, honestly, I'd say their best hitter right now, Kyle Tucker, out right now on the IL. So I'm just taking the Giants here through the first 5. Ari, I think I'm gonna let you explain the full game as well. But I'm just taking the first 5 here. Taking Logan Webb to just dominate through 5 innings. On the other side, for the Astros, they do have Framber Valdez on the mound, and we always love taking the Giants against lefties because the Giants can hit lefties, and Framber Valdez, he's had good starts, he's had bad starts, and against teams that can hit lefties, he's had bad starts. His last really bad start was against the Angels, only went 5 innings, 8 runs, 8 of them all earned 3 Ks. Obviously, the Angels, one of the better teams against lefties. Same for the Giants. We're just taking the Giants to get out to a lead here through 5 innings. We're getting it at a good price of -130. That's my play of the day for the Giants for Giants first 5 money line. And then we're going to a little bit of a parlay here. I wanted to back the Mariners mostly, but I wanted to add another play, obviously, since it's super juice. And we're backing the Reds today at +1.5. It's a little bit of a parlay there. You get it at +114 on DraftKings. We're going to explain both legs here. The Reds +1.5. We're backing the Reds at home just to cover the run line. Obviously, I do like the full game money line as well. It's almost a pick 'em at this point, but I do like the Reds +1.5 today. Backing Nick Lodolo at home. Obviously, we just talked about yesterday's game. The Reds obviously with 2 web gems, and they lost that close game. In the first game of 2 against Cleveland, and I am kind of backing him just to cover. In the second game of the 2-game series between in the Battle of Ohio here. I'm just backing the Reds just to cover here. We don't need them to win. We just need them not to lose by more than 2. And that's pretty much what I am expecting here with Nick Lodolo on the mound here for the Cincinnati Reds. He is one of the better pitchers at home. We talk about how Lodolo, when Lodolo starts for the Reds, they usually just win games. That's how it is. He's 6-2 on the year. In terms of wins, the Reds can back him once he's on the mound. On the other side for the Cleveland Guardians, it's Tanner Bybee, and on the road, he has struggled, some amount. His last, I'd say, start where he really struggled on the road was against the Angels. Gave up, 3 run runs on 6 Ks. We're just backing, a team we're just backing the Reds at home today, especially in this, kind of must-win spot to even up the series. Obviously before they go play the Guardians in Cleveland for 2 later on this season. But we're just kind of backing we're backing the Reds here just to cover the +1.5 run line. We don't really need anything else. In terms of the bullpens, obviously a slight edge to the Guardians, but we're just backing the Reds +1.5. And then the other side, we're of course, Ari, I'm gonna back the Mariners money line against the White Sox here. I am challenging the White Sox to not lose a game with their bullpen. Like that is what I'm doing right now because the White Sox bullpen is that bad. It is horrible. Obviously, even without Brian Wu yesterday, obviously that was a late scratch. So that was I know a lot of people were talking about Mariners -1 or Mariners money line or Mariners -1.5. And obviously, if you had Mariners -1.5, that unfortunately did not cash for you. But the thing about just the late scratch was, just unfortunate, that it changes everything in terms, the pitching matchup. And, Jonathan Diaz, I appreciate your services, but please never be a Mariner again. That was a performance. But today, we do have Bryce Miller on the mound. Bryce Miller at home. I love backing him. Obviously, whether it's him trying his new pitch calm trickery with delaying the pitch with his leg tricks or whatever he does. He's just a K machine. Obviously, we're backing him in a bounce back start. His last start, obviously, that was a bad system. Obviously, going to Kansas City, a very hitter friendly ballpark. He let up 7 runs through 5 innings. Just not. That was. I think that was the day. Was that the 9-0 whatever big lead the Mariners blew?
Yeah.
And since don't remind me about that game. But obviously, we're just backing him at home. Obviously, his last home start was against the Angels, went 6 innings, 9 Ks. I expect him to just absolutely tear through this White Sox lineup today, and just back him. And obviously, like I said, we're challenging the White Sox bullpen to not lose. But even with on the other side, Jonathan Cannon, not the greatest pitcher, for this White Sox staff. He does allow his runs, even though he did do, a little bit of, bullpen work. I'd say obviously bullpen work. He doesn't go more than usually 5 innings, so he's more of a bullpen innings eater. So, like I said, we're challenging the White Sox bullpen to not lose today, and that's a really, really hard task sometimes. So, I'm just backing the Mariners to win out. Right, obviously win and now clinch the series win. Before potentially getting the sweep tomorrow, hopefully. But those are my 2 plays today. The Giants' first 5 money line, just backing Logan Webb at home, just through 5 innings, and then the Reds +1.5 Mariners money line parlay, backing Nick Lodolo, at home, and the Reds offense against Tanner Bybee, who has struggled on the road. And then we're challenging the White Sox bullpen to not lose, and that's a really, really difficult task for them. So we're just going to back the Mariners at home, who are a lot better at home this season. So those are my 2 plays. Ari, what have you cooked up today?
Yeah, 2 plays for me. I do have one in the NBA, but we'll start off with MLB plays in the afternoon. You're on first 5. I'm on full game. It's mostly again Logan Webb against Framber Valdez. I'm mostly on full game because of how bad the Astros bullpen has been this season, and now the Giants has not been good either. But the Astros have used more of their high leverage arms the past 2 days than the Giants have. They used Hader and Montero 2 days ago, and then Abreu and Presley yesterday. The Giants used Duvall, their closer, 2 days ago, but not yesterday. It was mostly just middle inning kind of guys because they had, they had Hajeli, Rogers, Jackson, so no one that's like super, super high leverage compared to what the Astros have used the past 2 days. But I mean, I think they both probably win, like you said. Logan Webb, we like to back at home. And then Valdez has been good statistically on the road this season. He's been better on the road than he has been at home. But, I don't know. He's coming off a complete game shutout against the Angels. So there could be regression with that. And then, like you said, Giants against lefties usually are pretty good. I think it's good. The total's low. It's probably going to be a fairly low scoring game. But, and then in that point, I favored the Giants, with the better bullpen edge heading into today compared to what the 2 teams have used the first 2 games of the series. I like the Giants to get back, and I don't know if it's 3 or 4 game series, but at least clinch the series one of his 3 games, or win 2 of the first 3 if it's a 4 game series or whatever. And then going to the NBA, I do believe Dallas gets back in the series today with a win overall. But I've saw up to 3.5, some places even 4 for the spread. I saw. I'm just going. Obviously, there's risk, with the type play like this, but I'm just going in first quarter, starting off strong in front of their home crowd. To just get off to a strong start at home to get back in the series. I like first half too at -2.5. It's just kind of a fun, quick sweat. I like to play with first quarter plays where, you're backing a home team that's in. Obviously every game's a must win, obviously, but this is obviously must win times 10 for Dallas, down 2-0 in the series. Obviously there's safer ways to bet Dallas if you go full game or even first half, but I like first quarter just to get off. Off the crowd's going to be in it. In the game early. I mean, in the game the whole game, but especially early. Looking to avoid to avoid going down 3-0 in the series. Giants ML this afternoon, and then Mavericks first quarter to win by 2+ tonight.
Yeah, obviously the Giants money line, this is actually the series ender. So this is the decider. Obviously, Giants got game 1, Astros got game 2 yesterday. You mentioned all, with the bullpen statistics in the last few days, the Giants have a lot more of their better arms available. The Astros bullpen has kind of been up and down all around, kind of a mess recently. So I do like the Giants full game. As I mentioned the first 5, I'm just back in Logan Webb. You're just back in the Giants in this spot. Two great, commonalities coming back together once again. With the Giants, and then going to the NBA, obviously game 3 with the Mavericks first quarter -1.5. You mentioned, backing, the Mavericks in the spot, obviously just getting out to a lead here. Obviously this is a big game for Dallas. Obviously you mentioned being down 2-0. I saw a statistic. I think teams down 2-0 in their first home game are 21-9 straight up, covering at a 70% clip. So, obviously you mentioned, taking the Mavs full game money line. And I know a lot of people, are leaning toward that as well with this kind of funky line, being so close as compared to all the lines when Boston, when, it was, 7.7, 7.5 point lines, just taking the Mavs here to kind of get out to a lead here, a 2-point lead after the first quarter, with that, backing, Luka and Kyrie at home, in this must-win spot for them. I do like that play for you, along with the Giants money line full game with my 2 plays, Giants first 5, and then the little parlay of the Mariners full game money line and the Reds +1.5. It comes out to about +114. You can find both of these plays and this video, of course, on our Twitter below at AKP Sports Talk. That is where this full video and our card will be posted momentarily, but that's going to be doing it for this episode of AKP Sports Talk. That's Ari. I'm Korea. Of course, we're going to be back tomorrow. Win some money, guys. Have a great day, and we will